That's me. I'm playing in the background. I didn't even know it. I forgot to turn my iPad down. What's good people? We back for another episode of the Family Bloodline Podcast. For the one time. And I hope everybody is doing okay. Everybody's surviving the hustle. We're in the second month of the year already. The second month. And how many days are we inside of this administration so far?
Listen, days. I thought it was like a year already. It's not a year. You're telling me it's just days?
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah,
23 days. Is it 23 days?
I think it's something like that, something similar to that. And
January 20th.
Yeah.
That was an important day before, right? The 20th. Something else used to go on that day.
Oh yeah, the most important thing. Wasn't that MLK Day at one point?
Hey, watch it.
Yes.
Watch that DEI now.
I wonder if that was it.
There could have been other more deserving people that deserve Jan 20 as a day.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Man, let me turn the light down on this other monitor. It's bouncing, it's reflecting off my hoodie, and it's driving me absolutely up a wall. So how has y'all's week been so far?
For me, the week's been pretty. I've been trying to stay above ground, dip in, dip out of the news. Day trading's been phenomenal. My long-term portfolio has been crap, bro. Like inflation came in red hot today.
Really?
Compared to CPI, bro, it came in hot. We're back at 3%. We haven't been back at 3 since like June of last year, right? Mm-hmm. These grocery stores are already saying, hey, eggs are going to go through the roof because inflation. And then there's something out there killing these chickens, man. I wish there was something, an agency we had that can help disperse information to let us know, right? So some mysterious thing is like offering chickens, but day trading has been good, man. I got no complaints right now as far as that regard. How about you guys?
What you got, Rich?
No, I don't have anything.
It's always worth it.
I want to add this one thing. I seen this crazy. So you know how movie theaters, man, these movies, Hollywood is like cramming different things into one package, right?
Yeah.
So I think with inflation, people are trying to be more streamlined with their deliveries and their products. So I watched a rom-com / thriller / scary movie called Heart Eyes. It's about some jilted lover that goes around only on Valentine's Day murking other couples.
I've heard something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you
giving it a recommendation? Yeah, I watched it. I'm not giving it a recommendation. If you have like nothing to do one day in the daytime and you're bored out your mind, you got like 2 hours, why not? But other than that, no.
2 hours? Nah.
Any movie's 2 hours now, man.
Is it? I don't know. I can't. Yeah. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. But okay, I mean, I guess my week so far has been a bit. It's been all right. I started VA appointments so I can get things shut down. Start moving towards the end of everything, and man, it snowed out here yesterday, and all of the appointments are in Louisville. So
okay, you gotta make that hike.
Yeah, which ain't a big deal. I usually take the morning appointments because it's better for me. I like to get up and get it done and get it knocked out. But yesterday, I got up there, and when I tell you these offices were closed and didn't say anything to anybody about it, I was 38 hot.
Yeah, I would be too.
So I ended up driving up there, and then essentially just having to turn back around, come back home, and on my way back home, I get a call from the office like, "Oh, did anyone call you to let you know that the office ain't gonna be open? I was like, no, that no one called me at all. So it kind of ticked me off a bit that that's how I ended up. My morning ended up going. However, I digress after a while because I did end up getting everything rescheduled and being able to still essentially end up getting seen. So I'm starting all that
That's what's up.
this week. Yep, starting it all this week, and just one day at a time at this point. And it's only a matter of time.
Facts.
Only a
It's
matter
coming quick.
of time. Yeah, not quick enough though. But yeah, it's coming quick. It's time. It's time to rock, do some other things in life. So, but yeah, that's been my. Oops, I messed up. That's been my week so far. And then, hey Juan, got in from the gym. Go get it. Go get it. So yeah, I'm just trying to rock it all. Trying to rock it all out. Trying to get some stuff set up. I don't know what's going on. I know we're on Instagram. And I went to share and it kind of froze up on me over there. So I don't want to have.
Because my camera is being.
Dang. Oh well, anyway, we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna keep it pushing. So yeah, today I oh man, hold on. I had something for you. Yep, she told me about the text, Juan. She told me about the text. We're gonna get after it. We're gonna get after it. So I wanted to make sure I did this just as an understanding of transition. How about that?
With the transition from topic to topic?
Yeah. You wanted something a little
I
different.
think it should. I think it should be something more something quick.
Oh man.
2 to 3 seconds.
All right, well.
That's just my.
Not good enough.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
All crowds.
Do that. Do that.
All crowds.
All
right.
We can do that.
All right. So we are transitioning at this point to the topics of the evening. And there's been no small amount of things happening in our government, to say the least. Especially when we begin to talk about the Department of Government Efficiency and its interactions and how it's doing things. So since we've had DOGE for a bit so far, what are y'all's take on what DOGE is doing and how DOGE is going about doing it?
Man, the way I look at it, it's like I'm trying to think of a task that takes skill, man. It's like you're trying to. You guys ever had a splinter in your finger?
Yeah.
You use tweezers to get that splinter out, right?
Yeah.
I feel like DOGE is trying to take a car lift to take out a splinter. I feel like they're trying to use the biggest pliers they can find to take out a splinter, man. They're just going at it like a bull in a china shop, if you will. There's no analysis, no analysis, no forward thinking, no processes. Some of the things that they issue out, they have to not rescind it, but tweak it so that people can understand exactly what it is that they want. And it's so bad to the point where they're putting groups, sleeper cells in these different agencies to make sure that those agencies are doing what they need them to do.
What do you mean?
So my initial view on it, so they're putting DOGE teams in different agencies like DOD, FBI, etc. And one of their mission sets is reducing the force, because the last executive order he signed, one of the last ones, most recent ones, is for them to reduce. DOGE is there to make sure that the reduction is done. And if they have to hire back people, I think a ratio was put for every 4 people dismissed, you could hire 1 person, but they have to be approved by that DOGE team within that agency.
So, okay, all right, okay. I'll circle back around to that in a second. What was that? Was that it from your purview, or?
That's my initial. Yeah, just a bull in the china shop.
All right. What about you, Rich? We've seen this happening for a while now.
I'll sit back and listen to y'all talk for a little bit, and then I'll weigh in.
Okay. So I can agree and understand that analogy from you, Deuce, bull in a china shop. I've watched. It seems unorganized chaos. We were, so a lot of the things that have been pushed out so far are things have to be done through or on the foundation of meritocracy, as it were. Although just about nobody that's in the cabinet has gotten there through meritocracy. We've got probably one of the most unqualified cabinets that we've had in decades, just to put that out there. So the movement of DOGE going into USAID, which we talked about last week, as well as the U.S. are trying to get into the U.S. Department of Treasury. The young-minded spearheading group that's pushing to do that, they're not doing it. They're not going in on the basis of meritocracy, right? They have no merit to go in and do what they're wanting to do. And I say that because if you are having an audit on a specific thing, right? As a logistician, Deuce, I'm not about to come to the CAMOS and begin to try to audit you all's processes because I'm not familiar enough. I've not grown up in that community. I don't have relevant training to actually see what systems you should be using and how they're in place and how they're done. So that's the very similar thing that DOGE is doing. They're taking people who have no merit behind them, no qualifications, again, looking at the cabinet, and they're finding fraud, waste, and abuse. And just to further that, and I think it is worth looking into the fact that Elon Musk has been awarded $18 billion from the federal government in contracts.
Stop right there.
Go ahead.
I agree.
What?
I agree.
I wasn't anticipating that.
Yeah, you took words out of my mouth. So I had wrote that down, but you took it from me. So go ahead, continue.
Oh no, let me hear your point of view on it.
I got a lot of them, but I want y'all to talk first, and then if I'm wrong, then I'll say I'm wrong. But you already stated he got $18 billion for his SpaceX and his Tesla in the last decade. $18 billion from the federal government. So
yeah. So do you think that it's a valid thing for him to be awarded $18 billion in contracts and be an auditor, or be in charge of the auditing process? Let me ask that.
Allegedly, he says that this is not a conflict of interest. If he's doing anything with any investigation and terminating employees or cutting back services, if it has anything to do with SpaceX or Tesla, allegedly he says he'll recuse himself.
And so what do you Yeah, but what do you think the possible? First off, do you think that it's actually going to get to a point to where he actually does begin to audit the Department of Defense in that fashion? And even if he does recuse himself, just as a reminder to the listeners, the staffers that he has hired, they come from Tesla and SpaceX programs as well. So they're not independent contractors. These are people that were brought on from other programs under uh, Elon Musk, not to mention the racists. But we can come back to that at another time. That's not actually the topic right now. So do you think that he will actually do do that thing? He's going to actually recuse himself.
Well, defense spending is not something that either party will attack. Defense spending is something for national security. And so even if someone tried to illustrate that he was doing something against defense spending, they probably wouldn't be able to say it because they'd be told you cannot talk about this openly, part of national interest or national security. But the other part is this, and I wrote this down. Allegedly, this is what the internet tells me off one of the sites.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk was hired by President Trump. He's a special government employee, and because of his special status, no disclosure regarding his financial interests or ethical agreements will ever be, quote, stated. You'll never find out if he has a financial interest because he's a special government employee.
Really?
He doesn't have to disclose that. That's what the internet says on one of the sites. So please feel free to go to another site and state that he will have to disclose his financial interests, even though he's a special government employee. So even though he wasn't elected by the people make that solid point.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump was. And so President Trump, as I got written down here, this DOGE is his political apprentice show. And this political apprentice show is to validate Trump's political promise to clean up government waste. And he sits at the table and he's running it just like his apprentice show. You do a good job, you continue on. You do a bad job, you're fired. So it's the same thing. And he's doing it so quickly within the first month, which, if you think about it, if you're not sure who you can trust in the United States government, particularly the FBI, the CIA, and the Secret Service, and you may be fearing for your life, you better move as quickly as possible on everything you want to do. If you fear for your life and you know that you won't be around for a long time. So you do everything you can in the first 30 days. And so even when they throw the lawsuits back at you about all the things that DOGE is doing against government agencies that the Congress should be voting on, you do it anyway. You attack those agencies anyway, and then you make them fight you back in court. And then you hope to elevate those lawsuits up to the United States Supreme Court if they take it, if it goes that far, including the birthright citizenship, and then you take your chances. But for Donald Trump, President Trump, this is a win-win. Even if he loses, he can say, hey, I did my job. The Democrats stopped me. You put me in here to stop them from continuing the status quo of government inefficiency. I did what I was supposed to do. I fulfilled my promise that they told you I would not fulfill. I stop there.
That is an interesting take. You just blew my freaking mind. I'll be honest with you with the comparison to The Apprentice. And unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. Reality TV star. But anyway, what you got? What you got, Deuce?
Yeah. Look, okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna look at it from a completely objective standpoint.
Okay.
What Elon is doing is a masterclass, man. This dude is running circles around the entire U.S. of A. let's go back. He's the owner of Tesla. Tesla's an automaker. True, sure. They also broker information, right?
Right.
Tesla gains information about their drivers, mainly, and they have a repository for that. Then he buys Twitter, flips it, turns into X. More data, more information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he has access to the greatest data mining thing within the US, which is the US government.
Yeah.
Right. So he's gaining access to with the Treasury Department, all these infinite agencies. And he has his Elon mites, he's Elon stands gathering information. All of them, huh?
Elonites.
Elonites. All of them are mining and gathering information for him. These are programmers, man. They're not trained in governmental bureaucracy. They're not trained in organizational management. They're programmers. The program is there to mine data. And who does it all go back to? It all goes back to one source, man. Elon is King Elon for real, man. And now his next play, he has what, 900 billion million? I think million. $900 million he wants to use to buy OpenAI.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
He wants to do what again?
He wants to buy ChatGPT, OpenAI.
For 900 million?
I want to say there's a 9. I want to say it's 900 million.
Let me check and
which
see.
is way more than the valuation of OpenAI.
And that's
in doing ChatGPT, in doing
for
so,
900 million.
It's messing up their odds to get funding from other venture capitalists.
97.
Same play. Huh?
Yeah. Elon wants to buy ChatGPT parent company OpenAI for $97.4 billion.
Oh, billion.
97.4 billion.
0.4 billion. 97.4 billion.
Okay.
So think about one guy and the power that he would have if he has access to the data from Tesla, X, the U.S. government, ChatGPT.
Here's what's the funny thing about this, Deuce? People always say, "Oh, the Antichrist, the Antichrist." They said Barack Obama was the Antichrist. Now they say Trump's the Antichrist. Everybody's the Antichrist. I don't know if Elon Musk is the Antichrist, but if he ain't the Antichrist, he's got his phone number.
Damn.
That's remember that movie from James Bond where the guy was a global tycoon and he wanted to control all the world's information?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Elon Musk is trying to do that, but for business and for money's sake, he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
And probably he'll probably, if I'm Donald Trump and I'm on my last term, allegedly, I'm not going to do a third term, allegedly, and I'm on my way out and I'm trying to get legacy and not just in building buildings, but other legacy for my children, I'm going to make sure Elon Musk buys AI ChatGPT. I'm going to make sure of that. Just like I'm going to make sure if I'm President Trump that this, the social media site, TikTok. Now, TikTok's gone quiet all of a sudden. I'm going to make sure Elon Musk can buy TikTok or one of my friends can buy TikTok so that my legacy will be everything, not just with buildings, not just with winning the presidency, but in all these other areas too. I'm going to make sure that my Trump legacy will go on, and Elon Musk can help me do that.
Yeah, this is true. That's
yeah. You know,
and that's why when he did that, when he admitted that maybe the $50 million of condoms going to Palestine wasn't really true, and he admitted that.
Yeah.
You know what? So that showed a sense of humility that we've never seen in President Trump. But if you notice, President Trump just kind of sat back. He didn't say anything. That tells me there's a lot of money that's coming Donald Trump's way. And when you see him quiet and somebody else that's talking and talking and talking, that person is bringing you a lot of money to make Donald Trump get quiet. And I ain't talking no millions. I'm talking in the exceedingly. So all the rumors before about Trump never being a billionaire, well, if you got Elon Musk by your side, you will become verifiably a billionaire.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
one from the crypto thing that he did.
I believe allegedly that's a hustle.
He busted.
That's a hustle.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't want to call the president a hustler because I can't prove it. I say allegedly.
Yeah, he is. So, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this other post that I got put up.
Okay.
And what he ended up putting was that, and I'm gonna say this on. I need to say this because this is how foolish the American public is, and how strong and how fucked up Christian nationalism has gotten us. Right? Okay. He has a post on here on his Facebook page.
Agency. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he says Elon Musk exposes $100 billion in annual entitlement payments to individuals without SSNs or IDs. Warrants half could be fraudulent. Right. That's what he has on his Facebook page. And so I'm gonna put his name out here because if he's bold enough to say it, God damn it, I'm bold enough to respond. So a guy that I know named Chris Miller, we served together. And so I keep telling people before you get into a debate with me, just do a quick Google search. I'm not saying shit just because I think I know something. It's because there's a good chance that I read up on it. And if there's a new point, I can concede that, right? So very similarly so with Rudy Giuliani last week when you were saying that he settled out of court, so on and so forth, you were correct on that. And we will never know exactly what the settlement was. We'll never know that. And we will never know where he got that money. We won't know. We won't know how much they paid. Anyway, a quick Google search will show you that the source that he's getting this from is absolutely fictitious. Absolutely fictitious. Has no merit, is being sued, got kicked out of a bankruptcy lawsuit, and they're being allowed to be sued by different people because they're full of shit. So I tell him, as a friend, hey, man, you might want to take this down because it's not a good look and it's making you look foolish posting fake shit. And so I give him 2 different articles, 2 different links to prove that the source he's using is false. His response: thanks for the advice. I'll pick my own news source, though. Definitely doesn't include any legacy or mainstream media. Dumb shit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You notice tonight I said everything I'm saying is allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
And I've said this to a lot of people, to people who are, non-college educated, to those who are college educated,
I'm not college
in between. No, hear me out on this. I told you the information I got was from a particular, on the internet, from one particular link.
Sure.
Now that link was ABC. They're very liberal. They're going to do everything they can to slam President Trump. Somebody else will go to a Fox link on the internet and get a conservative opinion. The key is this: if you go to an independent site on the internet, they're not going to agree either. So all this information we have, and we can't trust our U.S. government to tell us the truth. Well, they told us the truth on the election. That's a start. He got this many electoral votes, this much of the popular vote. That's always a start. But no one can say anything now because everyone's going to doubt what you say because they'll go to their own source.
Yeah.
And so what is the truth? At this point, the money that they can't track in the Pentagon spending. What do you mean you can't track that Pentagon spending? So when Elon Musk comes and says, we're going to cut all this money out from all these different agencies, you say, well, he's out of control. But yet the Pentagon can't show you where they're spending the money at. They're out of control. So it sounds like the country that I belong to, I give my allegiance to, the country I belong to is out of control. It doesn't matter who's in the White House from what particular party, we're just out of control.
I would say yes and no. And the reason why I say that is because their still thing is objective fact, right? And objective fact is exactly that, regardless of how you want to accept it, and regardless of how it makes you feel. An objective fact is an objective fact. It doesn't care. It doesn't make any difference about the perspective that you're looking at it from, right? And there is a huge delineation between objective and subjective fact. The issue that we have is a lot of people in America are so caught up on subjective fact that they will accept it as alt fact and then begin to make their own shit up, and will pick and pull various different things. It's like Christian denominations. They pick and pull different parts of the Bible to actually believe. And then every time they say something about their different denominations, instead of actually going to an objective part of the Bible, they go to the subjective verses to make sure that they can actually prove what they're saying subjectionally. And that's the issue. America is being destroyed through sophistry, right? Through misinformation, disinformation, and then also from a standpoint of being so confused that people aren't willing to do enough to dig a little deeper, to read a little bit more, right? There is a thing called science as well. Science has objective fact. If a person has lied to you over 30 times, there's about a 95% chance that they're not about to come one day and begin not to lie to you at all.
Well, here's my pushback on that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I said that economics is not a true science? So the head economist right now for President Trump is a guy named Stephen Moore. I think he's a little racist. There's something to him. I watched him a few years ago. He was on CNN. They said something to him, and he just lost his mind. So you have someone who's telling you this is the objective fact about these numbers regarding our economy, but you can get Mr. Robert Reich from UC Berkeley, another economist who's a liberal, and take the numbers and give you a whole new outlook on it. So these are both objective numbers, but you can take objectivity or facts or the numbers and still deliver it in a different form or fashion to win someone's approval. That's tricky. And most people will never understand that. And that's why I tell people, do you really want a free market? Or do you want some type of mixture of government intervention? And so the Republicans really want a free market where the business people can dictate the pace and you won't have government intervention. Ironically, Elon Musk, I bet you, is a free market person, except when he wants those government contracts.
Exactly. And so the difference between those two things, what you were just talking about, is we're playing statistics, right? And statistics is based off of a perspective. And it's generally based off of the perspective that you're arguing. And so if I'm arguing that Black people in America are inherently bad, I'm going to look at that and come up with the numbers and find the data and select a specific population in order to make the numbers agree with my argument. Now, the truth or the objective fact behind that is it doesn't matter what African Americans do or Black people in America at this point, we will never be able to reach the heights of atrocities that our counterparts have committed in this country. We'll never be able to. Now, that's the objectional fact. And we can also say that objectionally, subjectionally, if I wanted to go and actually move it from a different perspective and say, well, causation, right, equals, or proximity equals, or the actual nature of, or historically this has happened, I could go dig up that data and I could pull those numbers and I can push statistics in it also. And a good example of that, about the exact argument I'm talking about, is the death row sentencing, right? The amount of inmates that make up death row versus the amount of inmates that are actually getting released from death row or maximum sentences because of different projects that are proving that these men are actually innocent, right? So
oftentimes African American men.
Yeah. One side is pointing, saying that they're bad, and the other one is saying, actually, no, they've been criminalized, overly criminalized, and here's the actual proof, which brings us back into an objective portion of facts, right? It brings us back to an objective fact. So a lot of people keep getting caught in the movement of, well, how do we know what truth is? Well, you know what truth is, or the objective fact, when it doesn't lean either way towards one person's want. It doesn't bend the knee to the need of the narrator. And it won't, regardless of who's telling it, if that makes sense.
Well, and this is funny that you say that, because going back to the DOGE, when they're saying they're trying to eliminate government waste, from one of the links I looked at online, it said that Elon Musk has eliminated, allegedly, $1 billion in DEI initiatives or actions or affiliated transactions, or however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
So, but this goes back to what President Trump said in his campaign. We're going to stop all this DEI stuff. We're going to go back to how it used to be. Now, to some people, you say go back to how it used to be. That means we're not allowing trans girls in women's sports. Okay, that's reasonable to me. To some people, that's securing the border. But to other people, when they say we're going to go back to how we used to be, we think, well, how did your family get to America? I know how mine got here. So how far back are we going? How far are we taking this? So when he says that, that's a mixed message for a lot of different people. Because is he saying that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right on. It's like how far back you want to go with Make America Great. And two, when you talk about DOGE and the DEI, people always tend to think about this, right? Skin color. But we think about DEI and all the other programs that are funded. Those are also taking a hit. Like in my home state of Alabama, UAB is a leading medical research center that depended a lot on federal grants for their leading research they provided in things such as cancer research and Alzheimer's. They now have to take, I think what I read was like 15 to 25% cut in federal grants that went towards Alzheimer's and cancer and other medical research, right? Those are some of the things we're missing out on. Defunding or actually absolutely deleting the Department of Education, money that went towards student disabilities and school lunches. We've kind of touched on those things. And when you think about national strategic level, I looked at the video where the dude was on the ladder, popping the letters off of USAID, right?
Yeah.
Which it doesn't make sense to me because the administration does not like China, right? I think we can all agree with that. China. If he woke up tomorrow morning and stumped his toe in the bed, he's going to blame China, right? Does not like China. States that China is our main competitor. However, taking away USAID is the money that we give to a lot of our allies, right? It's one way we give money to allies, nations in needs, etc. Taking that out is like removing the scarecrow from your farm, from your field. The crows are going to come in. So if you take away the funding that some of these nations were depending on to side with us, you're taking away the funding that the USAID employees were using to get nations to align with U.S. initiatives. Now it's free reign, man. And China already started the New Silk Road initiative a couple of years back when they got their hands into Africa. And now we see expanding in the hands into Latin America. If I'm a medium income country and I was using USAID money to do some things, so I sided with America because of that, and all of a sudden you cut it off, who am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the hand that feeds me. And this is also could have a possible effect on BRICS, which is already a challenge to the U.S.
I got it, Richard.
Strength.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just responding, but I'll let you respond verbally. I'm just responding in text.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut Deuce off. This person, oh God, where'd she go to? Valiant Thor.
Yeah,
I want you to hear this, Deuce. It would be cool to see DOGE. I don't know why I keep saying DOGE. DOGE audit the black budget, unacknowledged special access programs. That's part of the military, the Pentagon.
Oops.
Whoa. Hold on, Valiant. Hold on now. What you trying to come for? No,
No,
that's what
let him go.
that's what the Pentagon's gonna say. That's what the Pentagon's gonna say. Hey, you
Oh,
can't go in this
okay.
door.
Okay.
You can't go in this door. What you talking about?
Well,
That's just the closet.
listen. Everyone wants to know about transparency in the U.S. government, but when it comes to the Pentagon, you're not going to get any transparency. All three of us know this because there are certain things that our military and others in the Pentagon are doing. They're never going to acknowledge. You say, well, why won't they, I guess, acknowledge how much money they're spending? Because if they had to acknowledge it, hold on, was able to account for just half of its 3.8 trillion. Here's where it gets funny, because this person is right, Valiant Thor. Half of the 3.8 trillion they could account for. Where's that other money going? I don't know. We should ask the aliens. But Elon Musk, see, you laughing. But when someone can't show you where that money got spent, if I was married and she said, well, hey, baby, you know, we got $100, but you can only account for 45. Where you been? Oh, well, you know.
Pink slip.
She ain't trying to hear all that. She ain't hearing all that. Where'd that money go? Because she's going to accuse me of being with an alien.
Yeah.
So, Elon Musk, you're looking at certain agencies to fulfill. So, in other words, just say, I'm fulfilling President Trump's agenda. We're not looking at all the agencies, just the ones who we don't like.
So just to throw this out here, right? I don't disagree thank you for the subscription, by the way. I don't disagree with the assessment. However, what I do understand is there are monies that are spent for a different type of power structure. Americans only understand that we push out or we project overt strength. They're not really familiar with the soft strength that we actually have to actually exude as well. And that soft strength is the portion where we're actually paying out different countries. We're inserting ourselves in different areas in different ways globally in the event we need some type of strategic positioning. That's the part that's lost on many Americans because you don't understand the convention of war or the actual different dimensions that come with it. Right. So I don't disagree that there's that 1.9 trillion that is disappeared that we can't see because people don't have access to those documents. They know where it went because people have to pay the piper sooner or later. Right. Ukraine ain't getting weapons for free. You know, Israel's not getting weapons for free. Make no mistake about it. These things are still tracked and traced. And just because we don't have the proper access to it doesn't mean it's lost forever.
I would say, how much money can you waste? How much money can you do things? How much money can you spend without being accountable to the taxpayer? So as long as you can say, well, for national security, we can't tell you this. For national security, we have to take away some of your freedom of speech, your freedom to assemble. Oh, for national security, you can't do this. So at some point, and I'm not trying to sound like a liberal, and I'm not trying to sound like a conservative, but at some point, where's the line? Where is the line? So if you can't tell me where you're spending this money at, if you say, well, hey, we are spending some money on some alien technology, but we can't tell you how much. We can't tell you the different programs. Good enough. But you don't want to even acknowledge that you are spending money. Richard, just remember Elon Musk is African American. That's why he needs so much. Okay. So anyway, go ahead. I done lost my train of thought, Reed. I done lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Hey, Rich, all I was about to say is a saying that aggravates me to no end, man. When people say what is understood doesn't need to be explained, right? I feel like DOD's budget, the part that is unaccounted for, things that don't need to be explained because it's used for national security in conversation, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's been coming down to. And you talk about budget cuts and bringing this free fall within. Man, DOD accounts for, what was it? I think anywhere from 10 to 15% of the total U.S. budget. They account for over half of the discretionary spending within that budget. Other things that's crazy, man. So the U.S. budget is, God, I don't even know how much it is, but they account for 10 to 15% of that. I just think about 10 to 15% of my own budget. if I was able to get that back, bro, I'll be skipping around here. I think I'm rich.
You know,
Right.
my thing is this: if you created your country on bloodshed, and you got to keep your country as the number one country in your mind, the number one country off of bloodshed, so you got to keep your military complex going. I get it. My thing is just don't lie about the money.
But
Don't lie about it.
Be true. They can't be transparent
to it.
with the money.
Well, if you can't be transparent with the money, 3.8 trillion and half of the money the Pentagon has, you can't account for, and you say for national security. So talking to aliens, you're doing a little this, you're doing a little that, doing a little drinking, brought a few women over, for whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, so, a pen costs $10, but you paying about $100. You brought a couple women over from another country. They, got intel for you. Okay. I mean, when you ain't really telling me exactly how you're spending that money, because it's national security. So if I get 100 billion for national security, I'm getting ready to do the most. We still gonna be protected now,
right?
But I may have to do a little extra.
Absolutely.
I mean, but do you really want to? I don't think that. Do we really want? Because I'm thinking I could just imagine how convoluted that budget is, and the line items, the money going here, money going there. There's a war in Sudan, right? Civil war. I would bet we're paying both sides.
Oh yeah.
I would bet that we're paying both sides. I bet we're doing that in a lot of countries, man. We're doing a spread. We don't care who wins as long as who wins likes us. And that's what we say, right? For national security purposes. The more countries on our side with key resources enhances our power, right?
I tell you what, if you want the American people to accept that half of 3.8 trillion is unaccounted for to keep us safe, I think American people, regardless of what political party they belong to, would say yes, as long as you had socialized health care. Okay? So if you had universal health care that you say you can't afford, but you can afford 3.8 trillion, and half of that 3.8 trillion is unaccounted for. So you can afford that, but you can't afford to give your American citizens full health care. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can't afford to do that, though.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement 100%, especially when the healthcare corporations were still making billions of dollars per quarter during COVID, right? Or even not COVID, but even before that, even during recession periods, their prices actually go up, right? So it is a money thing. The healthcare industry we could have been getting universal healthcare. That was a racist call as to why we don't, and we'll talk about that another time. But circling back to something else, right? Because you all brought up national security and DOGE going in or missing monies, and since we're talking about Elon Musk and DOGE, I just want to throw this out here that, in my personal opinion, and I said this last week, we're still giving all of our information over to social media because remember, Elon Musk owns X. So now the people that he has in there, they have the same abilities, the same movements, or they can perform the same actions of exploitation as China if they wanted to. I don't feel safe that they're going through places and getting our information. I don't know who they are. I don't know how they've been vetted. What's their oversight and how they can the checks and balances on them. So no, that's one of the reasons why. And I'm glad I said that. I didn't mean to do this, but I think it works out for us. But that's one of the reasons why. Getting back to the screen here, why the federal judge has blocked the movement of DOGE temporarily to make sure that things are on the up and up, right? So if you didn't know that Judge Paul Engelmeyer has put a temporary block on the movements of DOGE, as it were, and they're not able to actually go into the U.S. Department of Treasury. They're not able to gain the accesses and anything that they were supposed to be doing and the information that they were supposed to have taken, they're supposed to destroy. Supposed to. Now, as a movement forward, outwardly, J.D. Vance, President Trump, Elon Musk are all acting in defiant of the court order because they've already, like I said before, there are no more rules. America has crowned its king, and he's going to show the rest of the peasants how he wants to move.
Oh,
and
that's harsh. He wasn't crowned. He was voted in. Kings don't get voted in. Kings went by war. This country, we voted him in. So you can't say he was crowned king. He was voted in by the people, allegedly.
I'll say that he was, and I agree with the alleged part, and I'll say that he was voted in initially, but like he said before, and he always tells us what he's going to do, right? He said that he would be a dictator on day one. That
was just he's talking in a very hyperbolic fashion just to get a reaction. So in other words, he's putting on his own apprentice show, but the truth is he is the number one apprentice. So he's putting on a show, and he says all these things, and then he does all these things, and he sits back to see just how far he can go. One quick thing about the reparations. When African Americans, not me, because I didn't ask for these reparations, when African Americans were asking for reparations, I said, okay, be careful what you ask for, because the pushback was, we'll make America great again, and we're going to take away all this DEI. There's your reparations. That's the pushback. That is the pushback. And then the other part about we can afford, give me my reparations, I'll be able to afford health care. No, you won't. No, you won't. No. You'll be like a person who thought they had insurance, and then a natural disaster hits you, and right before it hits you, the natural disaster, the insurance says, "Oh, we can't insure you no more." And then the natural disaster hits you, and you have nothing.
That's harsh. That's cold-blooded.
It's true. And it wasn't just the black folks in Hurricane Katrina. It wasn't just the white folks on the far east, on the east side of America. It happened to black, white, and Latino right up here, and right down here in California here. Not just in the Pacific Palisades, but Altadena and a few other areas. Mm-hmm. Now, those people in Hawaii, they were fortunate. They're going to get their money. But that state is a very unique state compared to the CONUS here, these states here on homeland. So, back to Elon Musk, they're going to go out of control and do whatever they want to do. And in fact, I will wager this. The birthright citizenship. If that goes to the United States Supreme Court, don't take no bets on that. I'm telling you, don't take no bets on that.
This is good as changed. This is good as changed.
Possibly. Like I tried to tell this individual, not to get off subject, about the Kansas City Chiefs in Philadelphia. I said, you put $100 on KC? I sure did. I said, really? Don't be shocked if they lose.
How dare
I ain't heard from him since. But I'll see him again.
They were going against history, man. No NFL team has ever done the three-peat. I mean,
he was betting that the NFL was going to have the ref. Listen to this: that the refs were going to quote bend those calls to make it go the Chiefs' way.
Yeah.
They would have if the game was close. And I told him, I said, if Philadelphia wins, they'll blow them out. So there's no way you can stop it.
I'm gonna ask.
This is the same way with Elon Musk. This is the same thing with Elon Musk.
I mean, no, you're right, man.
Every agency, they want you to file lawsuits. They want to go to court because this makes Trump look like the most unique president in U.S. history, which he will be when he leaves out of it.
It makes him look like a rebel. But the same way that Philadelphia overwhelmed sorry-ass Kansas City,
I'm
the same way
down over there.
What? No, I'm trying to make an analogy. I'm trying to.
Yeah, sure. That's
what things together.
Go ahead.
Okay, my bad.
Because Alabama still sucks. But go ahead.
I know a lot of people have different critiques on DOGE. But 26, we have 50 states, right? Right now. As of 51. Let's not jump too fast. Who knows? Okay. It could be coming. As of today, we have 50.5, right?
Right.
Listen, 26 Republican governors signed a letter supporting DOGE.
Yeah.
Governors with connections. The Republican Party, which has a stranglehold on the U.S. government, supports this, man. And as long as they support it, okay, so let's say a federal judge who has done the ban on DOGE, who's going to enforce it? Oh, you don't cut Richard's camera off. That's so messed up. Somebody wanted to cut your camera off, bro. I told him not to. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. That makes no sense. But
y'all don't rip that Band-Aid off so fast. About Kansas City like that.
Y'all need to crew cut Kelsey, man. Y'all need to crew cut Kelsey, not punk rock Kelsey.
About right there. Get back to what you were saying.
What I'm saying is right now they have support. I think that would change once people realize the things that they're cutting. Once what they're cutting affects them. American people were comfortable, man. We're comfortable. And the moment we become uncomfortable, a good percentage of us become uncomfortable, that's when they'll start pushing back. But right now, it's so fast. I was watching this thing that Steve Bannon, he was on the interview, man. He said the mistake that Donald made last time was he was moving too slow and he didn't have people to have his back. He fixed that. Got people to have his back. 2, he said this time he's going to move at muzzle speed. Yep. How fast a bullet comes out of an automatic rifle? He's moving like that. He's spreading, man. It's every day is so much stuff. If the media can't keep up, the people will not know.
Well, he's also banning different media outlets. It's coming from him. Banning different media outlets.
Yeah.
At press releases. So there's that also.
It's a genius move, man. Like it is. For his cause, it's absolutely genius.
It's as genius as Hitler.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute.
Hitler was a tactical genius.
No. Right. But remember when they put Obama in the White House? These are European Americans that put him in, wasn't us. We may have voted for him, but we didn't put him over the top. So they put him in the White House 2 straight terms. And they said he was the Antichrist and the country was going to fall to hell in a handbasket. So they needed a savior to save America from going to hell. Mm-hmm. But he was the Antichrist. Well, I guess Obama got defeated. Now, they say in the Bible, the Antichrist does the most until God comes back. So they look at Trump as being God or Jesus' advocate. And the perfect man, and they say he's going to save the country. So half the country says that he's the advocate for Jesus Christ. Another half says he is the Antichrist or he's some villain. Or if he ain't the Antichrist, then he's drinking with the Antichrist on the weekends or twice a week on the golf course or something. Mm-hmm. So we keep accusing these different U.S. presidents of being the Antichrist. The world's coming to an end. One day, a U.S. president's going to come along and they are going to be friends with the Antichrist or the person who's going to, end the world. One day. Mm-hmm. So when we make these accusations to these U.S. presidents, pretty soon it just falls on deaf ears. But one day it will be true.
I'm not going to say he's the Antichrist. I'm going to say he's the ultimate capitalist. He's terraforming America.
Fair. That's fair.
To a way that's going to give him the advantage, man. He's the ultimate capitalist. He's super cap. You know how the Planeteers come together to make Captain Planet? All of these capitalists, these small ones, they put the reins together. You get Donald Trump. And he's terraforming American landscape and politics so that he can excel whenever he's out of office, whenever that time is. We don't know. You
don't know. His term ends in 4 years.
Right now, we have 50 states. Right now, a president can serve 2 terms. That's the only thing definite I can say is right now. We have 50 states, and right now, a president can only serve 2 terms. But, okay. Do you guys have Google Map?
I'm not going to look it up. I won't look it up.
If y'all are listening, no, Google Map. I'm going to do this. This is just a case in point.
I'll do it for the
Google
viewers.
Okay.
I'll do it for the viewers.
I'm zooming out.
I'll do it for the viewers.
Okay. It won't.
What
Golf
does
of
that do?
America. Golf
That's-
of America is already on Google Map, right? And here's something I never considered. There are so many drilling protections on the Gulf of Mexico. If the Gulf of Mexico ceases to exist, what happens to those treaties and those restrictions? If you peel back all of the restrictions that he's peeling back, companies could come in, take land, take resources, and do with it as they please. Oh, Apple,
that's what you're saying the Gulf of America would do?
Well, if you peel back, if you change the name, it's like if I'm from a country, if I'm from what country was coming to America from? Zimbabwe? No, not Zimbabwe. What was he from?
I can't remember.
Anyways, pretend I'm from Zimbabwe, right? I have a passport from Zimbabwe. I'm a Zimbabwean citizen. The moment Zaire, perfect example. I have a passport from Zaire. The moment Zaire becomes the Congo, whatever it became,
okay,
I know my passport is invalid. All the rights and protections with that passport, my ability to travel, it ceases because it no longer exists. Yeah.
So you're saying by changing the name from Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, now America can do anything in that region?
It's quite possible. It's an argument that he could possibly. I'm not saying he's using it, but I've seen it used in other examples, so he possibly could.
Listen, we're going to know within a year of all these cuts, how they turned out. We're going to know because allegedly, if by Saturday all the hostages are not released by Hamas, allegedly Trump is going to say, "Well, time's up," and allegedly Russia and Ukraine are going to now make peace.
Yeah,
now, I'm sure Donald Trump
don't know how much of Russia. We don't know how much of Ukraine has to give to Russia. That's still debatable, but Ukraine has to give up some land.
All I'm saying is I'm happy that at least one judge stood up. There's 19 different attorneys generals in different states that have put forward filings to stop DOGE from moving forward. And again, like I said before, I'll say it again. What we're seeing right now. First off, let me state this. Right. The hope is that all the moves that we're uncomfortable with that the president is making, hopefully it ends up being successful. Hopefully it ends up being successful for the American people, because that's what.
Say what again?
Hopefully that all the moves that POTUS is making, it ends up being successful for the American people, for the benefit of the American people.
Oh,
that's the hope.
That's the reach. Who's hope?
That's what I hope for the American people, right? Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that are going to actually feel the brunt of the fallout from this.
Yes, I agree with that second statement.
You saw what Ballon Thor just put up, right? Ballon Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also saw Polar Nights talking about a Black America's building by a Black Washington monument next to the small white monument, or
I don't know where Polar's going with that. We'll have to.
I think I know where he's going with it. I think I know where he's going. I think I know where he's going.
What I meant to do, and I apologize, family, but I meant to actually put the link in the event somebody wanted to hop on with us. Oh, but the reason why I said I hope all the moves, all the uncomfortable moves that he's making is, again, I support the office. Now, the office was made a bit of a mockery with Elon Musk and his child there. I don't know if y'all saw that. That was
Elon's child told the president to shut your mouth and you're not the president. Allegedly.
Listen, I don't think I've seen a more disrespectful display of the Oval Office as I have watching Elon Musk and his child gallivant and speak to the reporters. It was absolutely egregious. Go ahead, Rich. What you got? I see you.
No, hold on. I'm with you on this.
Man, you keep agreeing. You throwing me off.
He had his
It's
son.
weird.
Hold
It's
on, I'm
weird.
straight
It's
shooter.
weird.
He had his I guess his son on his shoulders.
Yeah. It was
Go ahead.
an
Keep going.
yeah, it was just a horrible display, disrespectful to the Oval Office and everything that comes with that desk, as well as the gravity and the responsibility of the seat of the President of the United States of America.
Listen, hold on. Listen. Could you imagine President Obama in the Oval? Hold on a second. President Obama. Hold on, let me finish. Can you imagine President Obama in the Oval Office? I don't know, and Dr. Dre or Kanye come in with one of their kids on their shoulders, talking about, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and can you imagine how that would have gone down?
They would have raided the White House, bro. It's
over. Hey, remove.
We're elected president, but you out. If
next
notice
back
served.
to Kenya.
And the honest
Kenya, Hawaii, we don't care. Get out of here.
This was one of those rare moments where I wanted President Trump to display the quote unquote strength that he always says he has.
Hold on. It's worse. It's worse than that. So when they say that anytime you see a black person in a position of power, that's DEI. Here's my question. When I see Elon Musk with his baby boy on his shoulders, if that ain't white privilege, then I don't know what is. I'm sorry. That's white privilege.
No argument here. I tell you that.
I mean, if I may interject, it was real bizarre. How you guys doing? Blessings, everybody. It was real bizarre because it felt like Trump had to give him the mic and give him all the heat because everybody has been running around like they're losing their minds. Nothing of this makes sense. It almost seems like too much of an experiment from us to just be like, okay, between these two guys, they're going to figure everything out. Certain things are getting like supposedly working because they are telling us it's working. But meantime, it almost feels like me as a Hispanic, I'm supposed to be running around like with my passport or like an extra ID or, like I'll throw curveballs at people and I'll speak straight Spanish and confuse the whole system because it just seems kind of like out of all the things that we needed help on, we could have used better attention on other things. But it's almost been like now everybody in the Hispanic world is no longer going to Walmart, no longer going to buy Coca-Cola. People in Mexico are like, no more Coca-Cola. So I think all this stuff is going to start backfiring when the companies are going to start feeling like, hey, yo, I need you guys to calm down a little bit on the hate. Meantime, Musk is looking real nervous and greedy when they ask him something. Because like the first thing that they asked him, he was all like, that's all, folks. I got all your monies. And that's what everybody's like freaking out about, I think.
I want to interject right there. I don't mean to cut you off, but Elon he's never handled questions well. So I don't want to say this is just a time of now. He's never handled questions. If you've seen the Joe Rogan podcast where he was on, he's just uncomfortable with questions and one-on-one interactions. I think that's just a him thing.
Okay.
But is
not
that
that doesn't happen for him.
Is it kind of like what Kanye West does with now that like, and he went also on the bananas tip. Like it almost seems like everybody's losing their screws.
Did you see what he put on his website?
Yeah, and that to me, from where I come from, is very disappointing. The whole thing has been kind of like some of these people, just because they're millionaires, billionaires. Like I don't know, does that make you go cuckoo? Like you lose balance with reality?
That's not what it is. It's simply getting away with what you want. One of the reasons why the Romans were so perversive in many different facets is because they had all they needed, right? And once you have all you needed, well, what else do you want? Well, now you want to explore stuff, right? And so the woman will no longer satisfy you. The man will no longer satisfy you. What about that child over there?
Snap.
Go Go ahead.
It comes down to a movement or an understanding of what history is always trying to teach us. Oh, you all right over there?
No, yeah. That's because I just got done with the dinner over here. Solo dolo. Okay. My bad.
Yes. So it comes down to the history is always we're always missing history. We're always missing the lessons that's supposed to be taught through history and captured so that we don't repeat them. The reason why we can't progress and we don't progress as a country is because we've consistently found a way to ignore what history has tried to teach us. When the vote was being talked about, the importance of this vote was being talked about, history was missed, right? And it was a short history because he had 8 years to campaign. It was a short history that was missed. Now what's happening is, as he's making history right now, people's jaws are dropping because they don't understand what's going on. Not only are people's jaws dropping, but you have the most unintellectual of our society, the most animalistic people of our society, being made manifest through the different hate groups, through the neo-Nazi groups, through the KKK, through the Proud Boys. They're now trying to bolster confidence, right? And push that and have it made displayed as if this is something that's not new to Americans. We've seen these actions before. We've seen them before. And again, the reason why America doesn't progress is because we don't know how to learn from history. Everybody, like Richard was saying, this whole notion of the Antichrist, the Antichrist, the Antichrist, the Antichrist. Every generation is going to have an Antichrist. Every generation is going to have wars and rumors of wars. It's become nothing more, nothing less. Again, and this is the Christian nationalist movement that's done this, unfortunately. They've propagated the Bible and its texts so much that it's beginning to become callous. People are growing calluses to what's being said. Right. So we're spinning back down the movement of time backwards scientifically, and we're proving that history was correct by repeating the actions. Again, I put this on my page once again, is that observing where we are in America, I now understand why some of y'all's grandparents were standing next to bodies swinging from trees on postcards.
Wow, yeah, that's real. You know, that's such a heavy statement that we are, I think. Let me put that in a nutshell. Are you saying that right now, like America is the dumbest it's ever been?
I'm not saying that dumbest it's ever been.
Like, let me just understand it. Like, maybe that's disrespectful, but like the most uneducated in terms of how the hell did we get here for a lot of people, because they were all. Go ahead.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that America is purposely walking around with its own hand like this. It's blinding itself on purpose. America will not take account for its own actions ever.
But that, with that in mind and said, okay, so there's a populace like that, but is there also a populace that's running rampant with the propaganda machine head to, like, because once you turn on these channels for an instant, you're like, I agree with that. Yeah, that it because they're so good at like embellishing what may be the truth. Yeah. And the truth is always like a slippery butter situation. Nobody knows except Donald Trump right now, because he's been winning so much, supposedly.
That's an odd statement to make, but
like,
what I was
saying,
but what I say to that, Zoe, is I don't blame the news agencies and organizations and the propaganda engines. I don't blame them for doing what they're doing to make money. I blame the people who purchase that product, because you don't have to. There's always a scroll up or down, left or right. There's always another Google search. There's always something to read to go against what you want to see. Confirmation biases is the biggest, most comfortable thing that Americans play into. You know what? I'm a Christian. I don't like the LGBTQ plus community because the Bible says I'm not supposed to. Well, show me in your Bible where it says that. And
Or
don't
you're
just show.
supposed to accept people for who they are, like love them,
Well,
for
not
who
just
they
that.
are.
Not just that, but give me the etymology of the words that you're talking about. Take it back to the Greek, and then also push it back towards Hebrew and Aramaic. Actually understand what you're reading. And most people don't. Most people don't. They don't go that far. Most people don't catch a lot of the stuff that's being sold to them because we want to buy it. Just like we won't stop illegal drugs coming over because Americans like taking drugs. We like coffee. We like alcohol. We like opiates.
What does coffee have to do with illegal drugs?
Coffee's a drug.
But it's not
Coffee.
illegal.
No.
You said
I'm just
illegal
saying.
drugs.
Yeah, but the
Don't
point
come
is,
for my coffee bean. That's all I'm saying.
that's
Don't come for my coffee bean.
the station of
That's
what
all
I'm
I'm
talking
saying.
about. We like it. And even if it became illegal, I bet you people will still figure out, especially Americans, how to get it here because we like that stuff.
But the history of the coffee situation is very tumultuous with a lot of sword fighting and all kinds of situations. And any commodity I think that comes out of the Americas has been fought for, taken over, abused on, or what have you. Because I think in essence, capitalism, that's what it does, right? I mean, unless we have these people that are so fair in trade that they've never done such a thing. I mean,
that's not crazy. What capitalism has done. And again, this is how Americans always move the target of taking accountability. We always have an engine that we can blame to justify our behavior. But instead of actually saying, I'm justifying my behavior because this is really what I wanted to do. I really wanted to go and upside somebody's head because they upset me. It's not because they were wearing red or blue.
So let me ask you this, James. What kind of leader, in essence, I think, when are we going to get a leader that can serve, in essence, the whole American populace? Because it does feel like we've been going super left, super right, super left, super right, and we never get like the people's champion, right? Unless we had The Rock coming through, right?
We'll get that when America no longer experiences. You're the first African American. You're the first woman. You're the first man. You're the first something, right? When we get past the point of not being so surprised at having a first, listen, we're over 200 years old in the country, and we still haven't had a woman president. We just, out of all the 47 presidents we've only had one mixed race president. Make no mistake about it. Once we are able to get out of the system and the habit of saying that this is the first, we have to remove those blockades, those blockades. It shouldn't be a surprise for a Deuce or a Zoe or a Richard parentheses Franz to be in charge of something. You should never be the first of anything at this point in our history, but we still have a first.
As long as you keep voting in one of the two major political parties, you'll always have a problem. You'll always have a problem until you change all three branches of government to those who are not Democrat or Republican, possibly independent, a Green Party, a Libertarian, all three branches, and they address the Federal Reserve until the U.S. government prints its own money. Prints its own money and does not borrow money from a private organization called the Federal Reserve System. Until that happens, you'll never change anything in this country. It's just that simple. As someone told me from the Bible, whoever is the borrower will always be the slave to the lender.
Yeah.
So if you don't control your financial destiny, someone's controlling you. And
that hurt me.
You'll never hear no politician from either party ever say, we should print our own money. We should not borrow from the Federal Reserve, a private organization. It doesn't matter if the president appoints the chair of the private organization. They're the ones that you borrow your money from, and you should be printing your own money. Because that private organization, when it prints the money, it comes out of the U.S. Treasury. And the last president, this is where it gets tricky. The last president that said we'll print our own money and took us out of debt was Abraham Lincoln, but he got shot. And the president before him, who said we won't have a central bank, was that racist plantation owner called Andrew Jackson. Two different presidents with two different mindsets, but they both said the hell with the central bank.
Yeah.
But
how's
that going to ever happen if we are like $34 trillion worth of debt to who knows what entity?
The debt is not backed by anything but by your perception.
So is that real?
By your perception. So in other words, in 1933, when they took us off the gold standard, any money they printed is not backed by anything. So if they say the Federal Reserve says you owe us $33 trillion, come get it, Fed. Come get it. Come get it. Because the military answers to you. The military answers to the U.S. government.
I know you say that the money isn't backed by anything real. It's a fiat system. It's a made-up monopoly money, right? However, that line item, that debt is owed to somebody or something. So if you just eradicate the debt, you're eradicating the debt due to that something or somebody.
All $33 trillion is not owed to China. Some of that money is owed to the Federal Reserve. But again,
I said something or somebody. I didn't say China.
Hold on a second.
I didn't say something or somebody.
If I owe money to China that originated with the Federal Reserve System, and I said we're printing our own money. So Federal Reserve, how much money do I owe you? You owe us $25 trillion. Fat. Go print the money up and give it back to the Fed. Because the money was printed out of thin air. So if you printed money out of thin air, I'm going to print some more money out of thin air and give it back to you. And no economist will tell you this. Because
if you
they
flood
know
the system,
say this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you're on the roll. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm done. So happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Polar came up here and wanted to say something.
Okay.
Oh, Rich, this is a hold up. Give me your money. Came up here and wanted to say something. He said he a hard man to mug. All right. Hey, fellas, we are at almost 1:30. I have an early appointment tomorrow. And so we have to.
Are they going to be there?
They better. They better. I got to get this process done.
Bless his family.
Yeah, absolutely, Zoe. You can stick around for final thoughts. We got to switch over to final thoughts. And I think you are in the window to go first. Yes, you are. Okay. What you got for your final thoughts?
That's a setup, man. How you going to put Zoe first? He even had time to gather his final thoughts.
I got my Bruce Wayne going on, feeling myself with the whole, look, I think right now we got to get back to the center of, being a real Americans. You know what I'm saying? Really being welcoming to people. We should not be running around yes, this guy's running around doing all kinds of stuff, but as long as right now we take control of ourselves and we take control of our monies, I think we're gonna be all right. And just be family. You know what I'm saying? If call people up, reach out and let's just eradicate all that nervousness, because sooner or later people are gonna get tired of this. We can't have 4 years of this I don't like you, you don't like me. It's America, baby. You know what I mean? Land of the free and the brave. And I thank you guys all for your service. That's my final thought.
Absolutely. Thank you for your support. Who want to go? Who want to get it next? Starting from the top. All right. Deuce. I
was trying to find a way to throw Richard under the bus with that one, man. You know what, man? This is what America needs, man. We need more laughter. I agree with Zoe. We need more love, man, because the moderates in this country, man, need to rise up, stand up, and make their voices known, man, because I think there are more people in this country that have similar views and dissenting views. And of those people that have dissenting views, we need to learn how to articulate those views and find a way to a happy medium, man. that's part of what the American dream was. You know, the Statue of Liberty was given to us by France, and the meaning behind it was bring us your people. I forget the saying, bring people here. You know, that's what it was about. It was a party over here, and you're welcome, right? We forgot about that. We got to get back to that, man. The moderates to stand up, find a way to yes, find a way to bring these dissenting views together and learn how to compromise, man. That's what we need. And we need less old, can we cuss? We need less old motherfuckers in Congress, okay? Period. Across the board, both sides. I don't want anybody else that probably knew, man, Abraham in Congress, man. We need some more young blood in there, man. So that's my final thought.
All right, I got you. All right, Rich, what you got?
Well, 2 days from now is Valentine's Day, and so if you have a special someone in your life, I hope that you have an incredible time and you don't let Elon Musk drive you crazy with his electric car while he's taking you up to space. I hope our country can stay unified. And as long as we keep doing the same thing we've always done, you'll get the same result. So it appears that President Trump is trying to do something different. And I think 6 months to a year, we'll know if the country fully accepts what the voters voted for. That's it. Thank you.
All right. I can dig it. My final thoughts are fairly simple. Valentine's Day is Friday, and I hope everybody has a good time on that. And for side pieces, the 15th is your day, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh man.
Can't forget about the side pieces, but no. More importantly, I think at the precedent or at the point of origin or the point of agreement is Americans do want to have. I think we all agree with having an audit. I think we all agree with having government accountability. Because we know that it's been missing for a long time, which is how we end up with $36.8 trillion of debt, by which, the current president and his previous administration gave us a quarter of that by racking up $8.6 trillion. Neither here nor there. What I will say is it's not that people are disagreeing that we don't need to have an audit. We don't need to have another checks from an external group into what our government is doing with our dollars. We are simply saying that there should be a better way. It should be more transparent. It shouldn't be given to a billionaire who already has a vested interest to the tune of $277 million to a campaign funding aspect of it. Right? That becomes the issue. There's an inherent conflict of interest that we're running into, notwithstanding the fact that he also has $18 billion, almost 20, in government contracts. If an audit was going to be done, it shouldn't be done from the bottom up. It should be done from the top down. And it should be looked at from the biggest point of our expenditures, which is in the DOD contract area, right? We should be looking at and auditing that first, which he won't do because he's the one benefiting. He's the major benefactor of said contracts. And if that point doesn't catch you off guard and make you feel some form of way, well, then it's just because you are essentially you've fallen over and failed you've essentially signed up into the cult. Because that's an objective thing. Not having the person that's invested millions of dollars and winning billions of dollars actually audit the process. They shouldn't. It's not going to turn out fair. It should be somebody completely independent of that system, of that party, and of that investment. That's just what I think. I don't know if I agree with everybody I don't know if I agree that we all just need to get along and spread more love. I think there's a time and place for everything. When you've shown me who you are, I have the ability to pivot from there and act in accordance with that. And if it seems as if you're an aggressor or you're a liar or your hate supersedes everything while still calling yourself a Christian, nah, I can't figure out a way to treat you fairly. My name is James and not Jesus. I don't turn the other cheek. That's what I put on my post. I swing back on motherfuckers that try to swing on me. And if I see that you're trying to get in front of it, and I can see that you intend on doing me harm, you might get a preemptive knockout, right? Because I'm not finna continue to wait. We've been bludgeoned in this country. Literally, our ancestors, our elders have been bludgeoned with dogs, with water hoses. I hold the highest contempt. In all fairness and judgment, if I have to bring your religion into it, judge yourselves through the foundational movements of your religion and ask, why would anybody follow your God? When we separate, we lay shit on the table and we hold to that judgment. I can't believe anything you motherfuckers say. Your God is a lie based on his children and based off of the things that they've done. Everything that has been done, not just to my people, but to people in general. It has to be weighed. And if we're talking about bringing people in and loving on them, well, then they have some atoning to do. I don't see that shit happening just yet. So I'm not about to continue to turn my cheek for these motherfuckers. No, fuck them. I'm going to treat them exactly the way they treat me. No more, no less. If they hate me, well, good morning, motherfucker. I hate you too. And that's where I am. That's just where I am right now. I can't do this on the precipice of somebody's God that's shown me that I will throw your people in slavery. I will make sure I will feed your babies to alligators. I will wear your very skin. I will make couches out of your body, out of your dead cousins and relatives' bodies. I will do this to you. But just give me a second. Let me figure this out. Just try and love me a little bit more. No, I won't. I won't. And I will not believe anything that comes out of your mouths because you've shown me who you are and I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And
those are my final thoughts. I'm going back to the panel. Go ahead, Rich.
You know what? And someone said years ago, our most segregated facility in America was the church, but there's a reason why.
Say that one more time.
That the most segregated institution in America was the church.
James Baldwin said that.
Unfortunately, a certain percentage of white America believes that God and Jesus are white.
Yeah.
That was never the case. But you'll never be able to tell them any differently. And so you start over in Rome and you see the beautiful Sistine Chapel and all the angels and Jesus and God, and they're just brilliant white people. But it tells you they're in Exodus. I keep saying this. It tells you in Exodus, you're not supposed to, in the commandments, you're not supposed to paint what's above or below. But they did it anyway. So nobody follows the Bible perfectly. Nobody, not me, not none of us. Nobody, I don't think nobody follows the Quran perfectly. Our praises to Allah, the last prophet is Muhammad, to those who are Muslim. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Let me be crystal clear. But there are no perfect people in any of these religions. But common sense can take you a long way.
I'll clap for that.
Yes.
And this idea that the original man was white, the original Jew is white. How can you be the original people when you can't come until I'm here first? Because I'm carrying the master gene, the African gene. So if the African gene, the black gene is the master gene, the first gene, and everybody else comes after that. Science proves that.
That's an objective fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when white people say we're the superior people, but you weren't here first. You evolved after me. I taught you in Egypt. You didn't teach me. You went back to Greece, and then when Rome came to you, you told Rome, well, go down to those black folks in Egypt. But they don't talk about that. And that's just the ones in Egypt. You don't talk about the Moors in Spain, how they brought education to you.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
all over the Facebook pages, at least the links I get. But
Yeah.
that doesn't fit the narrative, because once you tell your lie over and over, and listen, I'm going to say to European Americans, you are quite successful. You left England, didn't want to pay high taxes. You came to another country. You didn't see no land titles. You saw bow and arrows. And you had the shotgun or the musket. And you said, oh, we're about ready to get paid. And they were right.
Mm-hmm.
They were right. So I'm not jealous or anything, but don't act like you're so much better than me. No. You know, we built the pyramids, but that wasn't good enough, because we didn't build pyramids all over Africa. So they said, well, Egypt's not really African. It's not really black. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who built them? The aliens did. Okay.
Well, why the motherfuckers ain't came back to get me yet? Look at this all ratchet ass planet. I'm ready to go.
Hey, Elon Musk is trying.
March 5th,
Look,
1967.
Elon Musk is trying. So, but you know,
It's gonna fail because the aliens don't
I'm
want
not-
him in Mars.
Hell no.
I don't think Zeus, and Zoe doesn't know me. That fire you see in Fat Deuce times about 100. Catch me on an off day. So he's nice. He says, motherfucker. He's nice about it. He's nice.
You know,
he's nice.
I'm gonna say this last thing. I've been watching this show Invincible on Amazon. 2 thumbs up. The guy in there said,
oh, wait a
"You
minute.
either
Are we still
change
on,
the
are we-
world."
are we still on Facebook?
Yeah, we're still on. I think the guy
Okay.
said,
Clean up my
"You
language.
can be a good guy, or you can change the world, but you can't be both."
Yeah, that's a great card. That's a great anime series.
Yeah, awesome.
I
Awesome.
agree.
Well, you know, I still swear by this country. I affirm by this country. I believe in this country, even though the country doesn't necessarily believe in me. That's okay.
But it's
You know,
tiring.
I'll still die for this country.
It's tiring though. It's like
Well-
it's never enough, and no matter what, how long does it take to get it right finally? Like, so we don't have to be wasting time doing all the stuff that we're doing, like, you know, keeping us fighting each other. And maybe that's part of the tactic, right? Meantime, you know, they're laughing all the way to the bank, you know, with their good hombres. I'll switch it up on them, right? Because we're the bad ones. But eventually, I don't know, the buck stops with us, I think that's really what the question is all about. You know, the buck starts with us, ends with us, and it starts with us. So I ain't spending no more Coca-Cola, baby.
Yeah.
You know what? Look, I'm against illegal immigration, but I also know this. There were some Republicans years ago who wanted to say, if you work in this country, we have to verify who you are first. And the Democrats pushed against that. And that would have stopped illegal immigration. Because those who come to this country illegally, they're being exploited.
Yep.
And all that money they pay into Social Security, they'll never be able to retire here and get that money back.
It's because it's that free labor. I mean, it's free money. Who doesn't? America loves that. You know, America loves to tax, and they like coupons. Those are the two things we like. You know, and
The same thing they came over here to get away from.
Yeah.
But look at it. But look at it from a black person's point of view.
Yes, sir.
Slavery ended, and they said, "Well, hey, to those who want to go back and create Liberia, good luck. And to those who want to go down to South America and create Belize, good luck." Some did, but the rest of us had to stay, or we chose to stay. So when those from Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, or anywhere in Latin America, when they say, "Hey, my country is crazy, the government is ruthless, we got drug cartels all over, and so I'm going to run to America and let the gringo exploit me," and then I'll send money back to my country to help my family. But I'm gonna let this gringo, who's already had slaves, who wanted to take the slaves to the Southwest, and took slaves to Texas. I'm gonna let this gringo exploit me.
I don't know if it was to let. It was more on the aspect of, I think overall, somehow, some way, people have they have power, right? They're born into power. And if you don't have power, someone said it to me, something real crazy to me. And he explained it like this. Look, we come into this country, and because subconsciously we've been the help for so long, for generations, that when you see somebody that comes or looks and resembles like the gringo, you automatically go into yes sir, or into
that makes sense.
accommodate those things, because subliminally, you said it yourself, the image of Jesus has been so dominant that for generations we used to think that, I used to think that that's who he was. I never even quite, like, I was at a point
I'm with you.
I was like, I ain't about to question no Jesus, whatever color you were, but until somebody started saying, like, look, that's not right. Actually, that's an image of some dude that had power and was like, look, put me in and make me look like this. And then from there on in, everybody started worshiping that image. Because in Mexico, that image of Jesus, the Roman Jesus, is in every single store, house, what have you. We've been enculturated into this thing, this program, to think outside of that. It's that matrix effect. Until someone comes and emancipates you from that, then you're like, well, what the hell do I do? I've been in shackles for so long. Where do I go? It is a recipe to understand certain things, to move into certain things, even to plant or grow. Knowledge gets passed down to certain individuals, certain knowledge, for whatever reason. You can plant it, but it doesn't grow because it's not fertile. It goes beyond, like for me, when I started crossing the border, I didn't know I was born in America. Later on in the days I figured out that, hey, shit, I'm in America. I can say, fuck you, motherfucker. And it's very liberating, right? But then along the ways, if I say that and I'm a brown Mexican, bald-headed, scar-headed, all over the place, and I say that stuff out loud, oh my gosh, call 911 and call this person and call the security because we've been selected to be the ones that are in, like, we are a danger to the status quo because we were the originators of this land. We're not allowed to say, hey, this land was stolen from us. We're not allowed to say that. You can't go into court and say, I'm just saying, it doesn't feel like you can say it. Not in this great state of Illinois.
Well, listen, wait, hold on.
And I just unwrapped a whole bunch of can of worms, didn't I?
No. Because they claim, hold on. The American-Mexican War, Mexico lost the war. And so America got all of California, Texas, all of that land going that direction. Mm-hmm. So the war was lost. Was the money paid, that $35 million? Most Mexicans will tell you, no, that money wasn't paid to the Mexican government, that the U.S. government promised it would pay. Mm-hmm. That's on that aspect. And then all the 40 acres and the mule after the Civil War. Most black folks who were free, colored people, didn't get that 40 acres and the mule. And then when they did the Homestead Act, now a lot of white people got the Homestead Act for lands all across the Midwest, going to the West. Minorities wasn't getting that Homestead Act.
I guess what the underlining thing here is that any treaty or any of those sort of things that has come to do with monies or power, or America comes over the top and wins. That's why we have what we have right now, where like we have a takeover right now of a person that's saying, it's our time to win. That's why everybody, hey, now I'm raising taxes on you. But we've been paying taxes on certain things, but now it's more taxes. So like, for instance, the eggs about to be like $10 for 12 eggs.
That's what people voted for.
And we, there's no chance right now. Like, we're about to look at eggs like a luxury now, and nobody's prepared for that. I don't think any side is prepared for that, because people love their breakfast.
But you can't bring down the price of eggs and milk and all that within 30 days. That's not going to happen. So the things he can do really quickly, and I'm not trying to defend Trump, But I'm saying the things he can do really quickly is if it's an executive order, he's signing it. But he can't do an executive order to bring the price of eggs and milk down that quick.
So he can't, you're right, he probably can't bring the prices down in 30 days. However, comma, he sure can't bring the prices up in 30 days.
Well, he's doing a fine job of making those egg prices go all the way up. You know,
Yeah.
I should have invested in some damn chickens, but
Man,
my damn chickens couldn't last.
Shit, I should have bought stock in Tyson.
I'm gonna go get me.
Look at that.
You're gonna know in 6 months. You're gonna know in 6 months. You're gonna really know in 6 months. Because remember, half the Republican Party wants illegal immigration. Because those people are working in those foreign fields. They're working in the hotel industry. They're working in the building trade.
They hire them. They're the main hiring body. I'm agreeing with you, Richard. I'm agreeing with you.
But the other half, the Republican side of the Republican Party, who may be allegedly deeply racist, slightly racist, but deeply prejudiced, don't want people over here who don't come legally. And that's why some of them push back about letting the Indians from India come over here on those HS1 visas. They said, no, keep them back in India. And this is where I agree. Because if you say America first, then show me.
Well, then
Because
that's
this country, whether they're Latino, black, white, whatever, there's not enough people in this country that can't get educated or who are not already educated to do jobs in the computer industry as engineers. I refuse to believe that.
We got to make a special exception for the South Americans.
Oh man, South Africans.
South Africans.
I was about to say because there has been an executive order signed for South African refugees. To come over.
When did he
come through?
3 or 4 days ago.
Only a certain type of South African.
Yeah.
I understand you loud and clear.
Okay. All right.
I understand you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's dead wrong.
It is.
It's an executive order.
Yeah.
But
refugees.
Oh well, wait a minute. So if you're letting South African refugees, but you won't let them Haitian refugees, those Dominican refugees?
No.
No.
There's a small, teeny weeny difference.
And in their words, we cannot allow them to poison the blood of America.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what? Here's the problem you run into. If you allow South African refugees, then you gotta let all the Mexican refugees, all the ones from Latin America who claim they're refugees, you gotta let them all in. Either let nobody in or let them all in. So don't be handpicking. You say, well, we have to do it case by case. Well, we do things case by case in this country. Those who look like they may come from Europe, they got a great probability of getting in. And those who don't look like they come from Europe, you're not getting in. That doesn't promote.
Dang.
No. No.
I mean, but yeah. With that being said,
the other.
Yeah, with that being said, hey, great topic and a great continuance as well. I appreciate it. I just wanted to hear what everybody had to say and get it out. It's worth it. As always, you all could have been anywhere else in the world, but you all decided to hang out with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for it. And with that being said, thank you for coming out. God bless and good night.